What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. This is Real Talk Recovery, yo. We talk about recovery from addiction and a whole bunch of other stuff too. So today, you guys, I want to talk to you guys about letting your families know that you're struggling and that you need help. I thought we could share our experiences with each other. And if any of you guys, hey Brandon, what's up, bud? And if any of you guys are struggling with talking to your family members. Yeah, Nate. Okay, hold on guys, I'll be right back. I'm coming. Daddy's in his room right here, so if you need him, you can get him. Okay, people, I'm back. So, I just wanted to wash my face. Here I am. Fresh-faced to the world. So, no makeup on. Who the heck gives you thumbs down on every one of your videos before they even really start? Oh, girl. Didn't you know? Well, those are the stalkers. I don't talk about them in my videos, but a guy who has a channel all about me, and him and his wife wanted me to let them on my channel because I blocked them because they were doing things like thumbs downing my video, hey Melvin, and then also like talking shit to people in the chats, and so I blocked them, and then they would make fake accounts. So I've got like 30 accounts blocked by these same people. It's okay though, no big deal. Here's the deal, you guys. Any engagement is engagement on my channel. So if you thumbs down my video or if you thumbs up it, it doesn't really matter. You know, it just helps my videos get seen by other people. So don't even pay it any mind. I just don't even look at the thumbs up and thumbs down anymore. I don't want to engage it though, because then then it doesn't help my videos. So I just leave it up. It's been an ongoing battle. And it's been kind of, at first, I really paid a lot of attention to it, and it really bothered me, you guys. Like, I mean, it bothered me so much that I would cry about it, you know what I mean? And then, oh, good deal, Sandra, yes. Oh, hey, Michelle. Hold on, you guys, I'm reading. So here's the deal. I get emails from you guys, and I go through and I read my emails and my Instagram messages. So hold on just a second. Okay, good. Yeah, it really, yeah. It used to bother me a lot, but not anymore. So, okay, let's get a couple of things out of the way before we start our meeting. So, if you guys want to be a guest on my channel and you want to share your story, if any of you want to do that, send me an email, and if you can record, go ahead and make a video, record it, and send it to me, and I'll upload it here on my channel if you guys want to share your experience, strength, and hope. Yay, Michelle. Okay, good. So I've asked a girl named Michelle, her channel, if y'all haven't checked out her channel is called Amputated from Addiction. And it's so good. Her channel used to be called My Heroin Addiction, the Good, the Bad, and the Bloody. And that's how I found her like 2.5 years ago. And she was uploading videos when she was trying to get sober from heroin, right? This girl is a miracle, y'all. She is a miracle that she's even alive. So, long story short, she had to get her hand amputated, some of her fingers and stuff. So, for the last 6 months to a year, she's been having surgeries on her hand to make her fingers work. And you guys have got, I'll link her channel in the comments after we get off this live, but y'all got to check her out. She's just such, she's so positive and bright spirited for the shit that she's had, that she's gone through because of her addiction. I think endocrinitis from shooting heroin, and she also had open heart surgery. I mean, it was a fucking ordeal, but she's alive to tell the tale. So I'm going to have her on the channel to share her story. That's what I want her to do. I don't care how long it is. I mean, she can have an... Okay, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about, like when you're struggling and maybe the shame and embarrassment of going to your family members and letting them know that you have an addiction and that you need help. And so I thought that we could all talk with each other about what we do to... Brandon, slow your tits. What we do to, you know, to ask. Okay, I'm going to share with y'all what I did whenever I finally was like, you know what, I got to let my family know that I need help. And it happened like at the very beginning whenever I was struggling. So my mom and dad knew that I was having problems with substance abuse because I was using drugs and alcohol in high school. And I was coming home after long nights of partying, and I was getting into physical altercations with my mom, like fighting with my mom physically, and just not, it was like all the warning signs, you know what I mean? I know, sorry I was taking a bit, you know how it is. All the warning signs that, like, I don't know if I know I have a couple of parents who watch my channel, but there's like, I was distancing myself from my family. I was no longer wanting to take part in family activities. I was staying out past my curfew and then showing up intoxicated when I would get home. I was sneaking out. I was going to parties, you know, I was just, and the thing about it is my family were real strict, you guys. My parents, like I told you in my story, we were raised up Pentecostal to where, like, our religion was real strict and we weren't allowed to do those kind of things, but I was going against the grain. I mean, I was doing everything my mom told me that I couldn't do. And then when she would make the rule and put her foot down and say I couldn't do it, you guys, I would find a way to sneak around that. You know what I mean? Like, I was very manipulative, and I was a teenager. I was going to do what I wanted to do. So I remember, okay, the first rehab I went to was this place called Quapaw House. Okay, and I was out of high school. I had graduated high school, and I think it was my second year of college because I was going to a community college. I admitted to my mom that I'm an addict. And Christy, that is so awesome that you were able to talk to your mom about that, because listen, here's the deal. That's what we want to do. There's no shame, you guys, that you're struggling or that you have an addiction. That's why I uploaded that video before this one talking about that addiction is a brain disorder, because I feel like so many people don't understand. They think that the disease of addiction is somehow a moral failing, that we don't have like the same values and morals as other people do, but it has nothing to do with that. It's not anything about a choice. In fact, you know what we're going to do? We're going to read that. I'm going to read a little bit of that excerpt, and then we'll talk about that too. So anyway, I had to go to Quapaw House. That was the first rehab I ever went to. And that's when I told my parents that I needed help. And they knew I needed help because I was acting out so badly, because I was not coming home, because I was partying. And so the good thing about my family was, even though we were so religious and my mom raised us up my mom raised us up to think that we were going to go to hell if we had sex before marriage. And it wasn't because she was like, I think it was just that old school mentality of trying to scare us. Just like whenever I know all you guys were going to school when I went to school, back in the DARE days. Just say no to drugs. And it's like, here's your brain, crack the egg in the skillet. This is your brain on drugs. It's like, okay, like, a drug addict is gonna, like, that doesn't, you have to share experience with people to help them to understand. And a lot of people don't understand that you could line up 10 people, okay? And you could give each one of those persons cocaine. You could give each one of those persons Oxycontin. And there are going to be people out of that group of people that do not get addicted to it. Even though their bodies may maybe get physical dependence to the opiates, there are ones that are going to say, you know what, I can take it or leave it. And they'll walk away. They'll go through the little physical dependence withdrawal, and then they'll never go back. But then there's us who are the addicts who, when that medication goes into our body, that craving is set off. And that's what I want to read with you guys. But the disease is about brains, not drugs. It's about underlying neurology, not outward actions. The new definition also describes addiction as a primary disease, meaning that it's not the result of other causes, such as emotional or psychiatric problems. And like the cardiovascular disease and diabetes, addiction is recognized as a chronic disease, so it must be treated. So if we don't have our addiction treated, if we do not get help, we will die. That's what a chronic disease does. If we don't get help for our addiction, we'll die. The long-standing debate has roiled around whether addicts have a choice over their behaviors. Hey, sweet Melissa, welcome to the family, girl. The disease creates distortions in thinking, feelings, and perceptions. So you know how we always talk about, like, when we talk about getting better from our addiction, I always talk to you guys about changing the way we think, changing our perception of life. Like, I could wake up this morning, okay? Remember yesterday when I was struggling? I was having just a horrible day, right? I woke up yesterday, I was crying, I felt depressed. Hey, Sandra. I was overwhelmed with life. But I came on here and I talked with you guys, okay? And that helped me so much. I got so many good recommendations on what to do. Like, hey, go to the tanning bed. Hey, go get your hair cut. Hey, get out of the house. And you guys were all right. Like, I could have sat there in my mess, in that negativity, and that would have just caused me to feel so much more shitty, right? But instead, what I did was I come on here, I talked to you guys, and I reached out for help, and I feel better already. And then, you know what else? My friend Jeremy texted me this morning and reminded me to go to the doctor and make a doctor's appointment. Here's old Nicole, addiction Nicole. So, back to the family members. So I know that a lot of us are, what happens is our families have this like shame. Oh, the addiction is so shameful. But why is addiction more shameful than, eating ourselves until we have heart disease? Why is addiction more shameful than having, diabetes from eating too much sugar? You know what I'm saying? Like, we really stop looking at addiction as such a shameful thing and start treating other people like us. We're all human beings, as we're just struggling. We're sick and we need to get better, I saw your comment, Brandon. Are you struggling with relapsing? Have you been going back and forth? Have you been picking back up? Or are you just struggling with cravings? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. We cannot crave drugs and alcohol unless we take that substance and put it into our body. That's when that craving is set off, that phenomenon of craving. Okay, well, that's okay. Now, here's the deal. How many times has this been going on a lot? Have you been doing the back and forth for a while? Because if you have and you want to try getting on maintenance, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Because here's the thing, Brandon. I would rather you go down to the doctor get put on Suboxone, and stay sober and build your sobriety, build your recovery. Neil, thank you. And build your recovery, then, because here's what's going to happen. Nate, your dad's coming. Okay. You could build your recovery while you're on the medication, and that gives you that, it just gives you something to fall back on, you guys. And there's nothing to be ashamed of in needing help. That's why I made my channel, because I felt like I didn't have no support and I couldn't find anybody else. Well, I was finding people, but it was like I was finding people, and then there would be like so many more people who would shame me and make me feel like bad because I got on Suboxone. You know what I mean? And I was like, I've got to start changing people's minds about this. And I know that's not a healthy way to think about it. Like, I've got to change these people's minds. But I didn't want, like, I just needed to share my story with other people and show people, like, just because I'm on Suboxone doesn't mean I'm not serious. It doesn't mean that I don't want to live my life differently. When you go from active addiction, which includes criminal activity, it includes sexual promiscuity. It includes, abusing drugs and alcohol. There's so many things that go in with active addiction that I have changed, and I'm a new woman now today in recovery on medically assisted treatment. Melvin, it's because what's happening, bud, is that buprenorphine it's a half opioid antagonist. And so what it does is it goes onto your receptors, and you're not going to go with your withdrawal anymore. That's why you feel better, because it stopped your withdrawal. You don't have to take one every single day. You know why? Because the medication has such a long half-life. It's good for like 3 days. Tomorrow, mid-afternoon, you might feel like you need to take one. But that's how long it takes for it to get out of your system. That's why buprenorphine works so well for people that have opioid use disorder, because it has such a long standing half-life, and you could take it and be good for 3 days. Third day you might be feeling kind of nasty. But that's why a lot of people are using it to help people that are on opiates, because opiate addicts relapse more than, I think, probably any addict out there, because of the withdrawal. And a lot of people don't want to go back on it, you know? I don't get... Okay, so Sweet Melissa says, that's what I told my doctor last month. I don't get the high or low. I just feel normal. If I even know what normal is anymore. I know that's right. And so I know that for me... Hey, Nick, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, bud. I know for me, like, it was a really... Okay, so we're going to kind of shift into... Because I see some people need to talk about... relapse and medically assisted treatment. Okay, so here's the deal, you guys. It was a really hard decision for me to make to get on Suboxone. And I think the reason it was so hard for me was because I was so embarrassed. Because I was so ashamed that I couldn't do it on my own. I felt so horrible because I had my son relying on me, and I couldn't do... I was so afraid I couldn't do it. I was so afraid that I was going to lose my son forever because I couldn't stop relapsing, you know? And the way it was explained to me was for me to sit down and look at all the things that I had, all the evidence of me trying to get sober. Okay, how many times had I been to treatment? 5. Had I been to jail or prison before? Yes. Had I really given it my all in trying to get sober? Had I really gotten a sponsor? Had I really gone to meetings? I had tried all these things multiple times. So when I went to get on medication assisted therapy, it was really a hard decision for me to make because I was so ashamed. But I don't know why it's like that, because it shouldn't be. But that's how it is, though, in our society. It's like if you need extra help, it's something that you're supposed to be embarrassed about. Like, that makes no sense. That's why I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make my channel, and we're gonna talk about what it's like, and how it is, and that's what I do, and that's what's worked for me. But I don't ever want you guys to think, because I know a lot of my viewers are abstinent and they are doing great, and that is like, I give you so much props if you were able to on get sober and stay sober through abstinence. Like, I can't wait to get to that point, you know what I mean? But I haven't had that experience. That has not been the experience for me. Like, I have struggled for 15 years with addiction, and I don't know. It just, I feel like now that, with addiction being a brain disorder, and then some of us have depression and anxiety, and then some of us have other things going on in our lives. Some of us have family members that are in addiction. We just got so many different stressors. I feel like, being on a medication to help you there's nothing wrong with it, you guys. Some people have to do it. And if you do, then just do what you got to do. Don't keep going back and forth relapsing on heroin, Brandon, because you could die. Okay? What happens if you get heroin that has some fentanyl in it and you die? Like, I would hate to tell somebody, no, you don't need to get on Suboxone, and then them go out and relapse and die. And that's why I'm like, you have to think about this for you. You have to look inside yourself and really get down deep and ask yourself the hard questions, okay? Talk with your family. Here's another way we can talk about our families and get some support from people who love you and care about you. If you can get your family involved in your recovery, then it'll help you so much, because then you won't feel like you're hiding it. That's what was the thing for me. Like, I couldn't hide this anymore. I couldn't keep it a secret. You know what I mean? Okay, Shauna, see you later. The secrets were harming me. It just was too much for me to do without the help. And so, whatever you have to do, just do what you got to do, because it'll be the best decision you made. And you know what? The harder you work on your recovery up until, with the Suboxone, you might not have to stay on it very long. You could work on your recovery really, really hard. I'm talking like hit it hard and be on it for a year and then jump off and be all just fine. I feel like for me, at the beginning of my recovery, I was hitting it hard, and then like towards the middle of my recovery, I kind of let myself go and started kind of just taking it with the flow, and then now I've kind of bumped it back up again. So that's why I have been on my medication, for as long as I have. That's right. Yeah, it's really, that's how long have you been on it, Nicole? 3 years. And I'm telling you guys, like, I've went through everything. I've went through all the feelings in my mind, like, oh my gosh, I should be so ashamed of myself because I'm still on this medication. And this is how my doctor explains it to me. He's like, so you're going to be ashamed of yourself because you're choosing to take a medication that's helping you stay alive. So would you rather get off your medication, relapse, and die? That would be a stupid decision. And I've seen so many people get off of medication assisted therapy because they were embarrassed and ashamed, and then they kept relapsing and couldn't stay sober. So take your time, make the right decision for you. Nobody can tell you what's good for you. Just take your time. Um, Whenever you got, like, for me, the family support from my parents and my sisters was like, it's really important to me, you guys, and I'm glad that I was able to open up to my family and let them know what I struggled with, and let them know that I was struggling with addiction, because although it was hard to talk with my dad about it, because my dad's like, why can't you just quit? Why can't you just get sober? You know, like, it's so black and white for my dad. Like, he just thinks that you should just be able to quit. It should be that easy. You know, and I'm like, if it was that easy, we would have all been quit a long time ago. That's the thing. If it was that easy to get sober, a lot of more people would be doing it. It's not so much that it's not easy to get sober, it's not easy to stay stopped. It's hard because we'll keep going back. Staying stopped, you know, stop starting. What I always try to tell people is that communication is key with everything when you're in your recovery, like letting other people know. That's awesome, Nick. I'm so proud of you. That is so good. For me, I had quit every all at the same time, you guys. Like when we went into treatment, I went into treatment and I had stopped everything at the same time, except for the Xanax. I stopped those 2 weeks after I got into treatment because y'all heard that story. But now, you know, it just helps me. My mom decided we're going to hide my addiction from my dad. He thinks it's a choice and a moral failure. He does not understand. So, Christy, you know what? This is the thing. This is what a lot of families go through, you guys. Oh, look at your other comments. Okay, hold on, Nick. I'm going back. Hold on. Okay, there's the first one. Hold on, I'm going to look. Hold on, Nick, what is your other... I see this. Hold on, babe. I see I haven't had a Xanny in 4 years, gotten blackout drunk in a year, and haven't smoked bud for a year. Quit cold turkey, but I'll have a beer on occasion. And then I see, as a nutritionist and health consultant, I'm very good at helping others, but don't know how to help myself very well. Okay. Okay, so these 4 walls must have seen it. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. I don't know how I missed it. I miss everything, don't I? Well, I totally missed it. Hey, Nick, will you comment it again so I can see it? I'm so sorry. I totally missed it. Hey, Michelle. Okay, so what are you struggling with? Is it with... I saw your comment about alcohol, but I didn't think that's what... Say it again, please. And you know, I love reading y'all's comments. I'm looking like really good at I'm looking at it right now. So if you put it up there now, I'll be able to see it. Keeping things a secret from your dad, I feel like that's just... It's hard, Christy, because what happens if your dad finds out and then he feels like your mom's been lying to him this whole time? That's why my parents kind of did the same thing at first. My mom was keeping things from my dad, and then my dad started finding out, and they had this huge fight, and it was just not good. Like, keep it, like, it's better for you guys all to get together and sit down and talk with each other, you know? Bumblebee. I chose to, like, I have been just straight up honest with my family. And then, you know, I've also kind of like, my mom comes over here on my channel and she'll watch my videos, you guys. So sometimes she, like, watches videos about stuff that I'm like, well, Mom, you shouldn't have watched that video, but she does, you know. And she watches them because she wants to be a part of my life, and she wants to be able to help me now, you know. And sometimes I'm like, oh, is she going to see something that, you know, I don't want her to see? But she knows everything. Like, if she doesn't hear it out of my mouth, she's already heard it from someone else. That's how bad my addiction got, because I was People were calling my family on their phone, like people's parents and stuff that would see me out in my hometown, and they would call my mom and dad and say, you know, we just saw Nicole, she's doing this and that and the other, la la la, and it was bad. So they found out real fast what was going on with me, and I'm so grateful that we all can sit down and talk about it. You can't talk to your family about things. You need to get with somebody that you can talk to stuff about. Like a counselor, a therapist, a sponsor, a best friend. Just anyone, you guys, that you can talk to this about. Because keeping it a secret, that's not going to help you at all. And then if you keep it a secret, then how are you going to get help? Do you know what I'm saying? There's nothing to be ashamed of, okay? If you're struggling, all you need to do is reach out for help. And if you don't feel comfortable sitting down and talking to your family about it, if you need somebody to like kind of be a buffer in between you guys, that's also a really good idea. If you are afraid to go and sit and talk with your family, you know. Why am I totally missing your comment, Nick? I don't know how I'm not seeing this comment. It's like it's not showing up. Hold on. I know what to do. Y'all bear with me now. It's going to be dark, but I'm still here. Okay, y'all. I know what's going on. I think I have an idea. So, here we go. Get with the program, Nicole. I don't know why Little Rock School is calling my house. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here, okay, Nick? I got you. Why is this doing this? I keep on thinking that, like, maybe because I don't know if what your comment is like really long or what, but it's not showing up here on mine for me. Anyway, sorry guys, like I really literally cannot see it. It's not showing up on my screen at all. So I'm sorry, Nick. I feel horrible. That pisses me off. Okay. Anyway, that makes me so upset. I'm so sorry. I hate that, man. Let me see. Top chat. Live chat. Christy, that's a good thing. Oh, I said I've been a little down thinking about getting fucked up, but I won't. Oh, I just seen it, Nick. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I said I've been a little down and I've been thinking about getting fucked up, but I won't. I'm bipolar and I've been very high or low lately. Thank goodness I seen it. Okay, Nick, listen up. My sister's bipolar and she goes through like really high highs and really low lows. So I can totally understand what you're going through. I have literally watched my sister have to get put on so many different medications, and then what will happen is her medication will stop working. So here's the thing. What I always say is, like, think about this. What will happen if you pick up? these feelings right now are only temporary, and what will happen if we pick up drugs and alcohol, that shit makes everything 10 times worse. And if it doesn't make it worse right away, then you're going to feel like shit afterward, because you're going to be like, man, I just ruined all my sober time. You know, the thing that I would do if I had bipolar, I would get with my doctor, and I would get on some medication, and I would get in to see my therapist ASAP, because the best thing that helps my sister when she's going through manic highs and manic lows is to talk with somebody about it. Okay, well, here's the thing. If you feel good and you feel like you can handle it without medication, then then keep on doing what you're doing. But you might want to get with a therapist and talk to somebody that you can talk to on a regular basis about how you're feeling. Because I think what happens when we're like in these, or at least when my sister's in her highs and lows, is it's like she loses touch with reality. It's like she thinks that, that her manic high, say she'll be high for like 3 days, okay, and no sleep. And it'll almost be like she thinks that this is what life is going to be like forever. And so she'll call me or my mom, and we'll talk about it, and we'll say, it's going to pass. Give it over to God, let go and let God, or whatever your higher power is, and try to go work out, do some exercises, anything that makes you feel better. You know what I'm saying? But that telling on yourself and saying, hey, like, I want to use, but I'm not going to, is also like a really, really good thing to do. Because then what it does is it puts all of us on the lookout to say, hey, now, Nick, we're watching you. Yeah, and see, have you changed anything? Do you think like you're slacking on your exercise, or have you been eating shitty? Like, is that what you think might be making you feel, bad, because here's the thing, you guys, like, I admire you for being able to eat healthy and do all that exercising and stuff. I'm not disciplined like that. So I have to take, medication for my mental illness, because it helps me to stay balanced. Now, you guys saw what happened when I tried to get off Lexapro. I was crying every single day. I was so full of anxiety, you guys. It felt like my eyes were moving in my head, and my heart would be beating. I would be at work, and all of a sudden this like rush of anxiety would come over me, and I was like, what is going on? It's scary, because some of us have to be on medication. So I just want you to know, like, if that's something that you don't feel comfortable with, I understand. But if it gets too bad and you can't get it under control, then don't be ashamed to go to the doctor, and if you need help getting on medicines or something, there's nothing wrong with that, Some people have to have that medicine to help their chemical imbalance. Well, Christy, I'm telling you, girl, I thought I was the bright idea, and I was on 20 milligrams of Lexapro, and I was like, I'm jumping. So I got down to 10. I weaned myself down to 10, and then I just jumped. It was the first of the year. If you go back to my videos that were from January 1st and on, I talk all about it, and I was a fucking wreck. It was messing with my mind. It made me feel so bad. I got put back on 5 milligrams, and I feel so much better. I have such a hyperactive, high-strung personality. I've been stressed. I'm looking for a new house. I got to be out in 2 months. Oh, yeah. Well, that's probably what's been going on. You just got a lot on your plate, You got 2 months, though. That's 60 days to find a new place. So you can do this. And even if you don't find, like, a place that you want to live in forever, if you can find, like, somewhere that you can stay for a couple months until you can transition into your forever house, you know what I mean? But finding a house, that sucks. I hate moving. I hate it. I hate moving. I used to move all the time because I was in active addiction. And so I was like the bag woman. I had like bags with me everywhere I went, y'all. And now that we're in this house, like I dread when we move out of this house because this is Neil's mom's house that we rent from her. We have so much junk in here. Like I'm leaving it. Take it. Throw it away. Well, you're just getting overwhelmed. That's all. Just calm down. Like, just take a chill day. Have you been doing any self-care days? Have you, like, spent time with, your wife or girlfriend or anybody that, you like spending time with and go see some movies or go out to dinner together or, go to the hot tub and soak in the hot tub and then come out and get a massage or something? 7 days, discovered I can't take it at the same time as my gabapentin. Made me feel like I smoked weed. Oh my God, Michelle. Ugh, I hate Dilaudid. Well, if you're living the bachelor life, then this is what you need to do. You need to get yourself a hot bath or a hot shower. Get some of those like oils, essential oils, lavender. That's really good for like sleep. Get some lavender essential oils. Make the bath or the shower really hot. So that way when you put the oils in the shower, it'll be like steam, okay? And just sit in there and steam it up with some essential oils. Then come out and do some manscaping. Do your eyebrows, do your beard, do your chest hairs, do your toes, do your fingernails. I always love doing that. Whenever I feel shitty, if I take a shower and then I like do myself, like groom my eyebrows and my nails and my toes and all that kind of stuff, it always makes me feel better. You know what I mean? And then go get a cheesecake and eat the whole thing. That's what I do. Honest. I swear, y'all. But seriously, you just got a lot on your plate. Moving and you got a competition in a couple of months. That's a lot, man. Get out. Take it easy. You're not relapsing because if you relapse, then you're not going to move and you won't be able to do your competition. You will forget all about that shit. And we'll be going, hey, where's Nick at? And you'll be over there in the corner looking all googly-eyed high on Xanax. Because if you're anything like my husband, he thinks, oh, I'm going to take a relaxation, Xanax. And then the next thing you know, he's looking like one eye's going this way and one eye's going that way. And he's retarded. So this too shall pass. This too shall pass. You know what also really, really helps me is when I get in these kind of like, I'm overwhelmed. I've got so much going on like I did yesterday. I was the same way, Nick. I was bawling my eyes out yesterday on a live stream. Bawling my eyes out. I got off of my live stream yesterday and I was like, dude, you have so much to be grateful for, Nicole. Come on. I had to kind of kick myself in the ass a little, because I was like, I'm alive, y'all. We should all not even be here. A lot of us should be dead because we did so many drugs. So I really had to like look at myself and go, you know what? I am alive today. I have a beautiful family. I have people who love me. I have friends on my channel who care about my well-being. I have a good job. I have an awesome boss. Like, life is okay. I'm going to be all right, And so making just a little list of things that I'm grateful for really helps me. Really helps me a lot. I really want you guys to like be able to talk to your families though if you're struggling and if you have addiction. I hope you guys can, if you haven't been able to go talk to your families, I hope that through watching my channel and coming here and hanging out with us, that you'll eventually be able to open up to your families and let them know where you're at and how you're doing. Because I just know for me, it really just set me free being able to like be straight up honest with my mom. You know what I mean? And now I don't hide anything from her. Now I could call her and tell her, anything, you guys. And that gives me so much peace. It really helps me so much. But I started out small. I started out by just telling my sponsor, and talking to her every day and telling her all about the things I had done. And then she would tell me, oh, that's it? I've done that too. And then I would be like, what? And that just helped me so much. So I hope you guys know that. Don't be ashamed. And Christy, have you gone to a meeting yet? Tell me about that. Did you do it yet, girlfriend? I hope that you and your mom will get to a point where you can share it with your dad. Because listen, girl, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, do you know how many people are struggling with a disease of addiction right now? Like, so many people are in the same situation you are. So it's not like, if anything, the people that don't have addiction are different. You know, I feel like we're the majority right now because so many people are struggling with it, you know? But there's nothing to be ashamed of because no shame in my game. I just know that whenever I try to keep stuff from people, you guys, it always ends up backfiring on me. Now, I'll tell you this. When I first got sober, I was like kind of contemplating or whether or not I was going to let my job know because I was getting a new job, right? Heart surgery. I said, okay, God, I see the big neon sign outside the window. I dead, but I'm still here and I have a purpose. Yes, Michelle. I was telling them about you in the beginning of the video. I was like, I want to have this girl on my channel to tell her story because that is the thing. You are a damn miracle, woman. They think so highly of me that I don't want to let them down. That will stress me out and might make me use again. Like I said, I'm great helping others, but sometimes need some encouragement. Yeah, Nick. I am the same way. Like, I can go on and tell people all the greatest advice in the world, but then whenever it comes to me, I'm like, that's what I'm telling you. It's so awesome to have a YouTube channel, you guys, because I can come on here and be like crying my eyes out. And then 10-20 minutes after I get done talking to all y'all, it's like, dude, my life's going to be okay, you know? And it really does help me so much to be able to come on here and process things in my life and talk about how I'm feeling. And I just try to share straight up, you know, like what I'm going through and how I'm feeling. And it really has been so beneficial. No, I wasn't able to make it. My Suboxone appointment ran long. I did make my first appointment with a psychiatrist February 26th, and I still plan to attend a meeting. Okay, good job. I'm going to start my channel after the move talking about health, fitness, and diet. I think that will be really cool, Nick. Maybe you could even share a little bit about you being in recovery, because I know that so many people, you know, that are in recovery would probably get a lot from your videos, because a lot of us get sober and then we, like me, eat everything in the house, you know, because what happens is instead of, you know, using drugs, I replaced my addiction with food. And really, I just went back to my addiction with food, because I had that food addiction before I ever had drug addiction, you know, because I was raised up eating. My whole family is like we eat, y'all. I know, Michelle, you are such a miracle. When I found your channel like a year and a half, 2 years ago, you were called My Heroin Addiction, the Good, the Bad, and the Bloody. And I was like, I knew right then by the title of your channel, I was like, this bitch is a real ass bitch. So I started watching your channel, and you were just, oh my God, I could totally relate to everything you were going through. Well, I mean, except for the heart attacks and all that stuff. But I've been down through there because of my addiction. I've been to the hospital and been in comas and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, wow, God has a purpose for you, because you shouldn't even be alive. Find good documentaries if your family has a hard time understanding addiction or not. Watch them together if that's comfortable for you. Carrie, yeah, you know what? I have a girl that watches my videos, and she watches them with her boyfriend or her husband, because he doesn't understand. That would be great, Nick. I could use exercise tips and nutrition tips. See, Nick? Good idea, Carrie. Carrie, is there a documentary you can recommend? And Nick says he's going to be doing a podcast too. And Michelle says, I subscribed. Christy says, Michelle, I subscribed. That's so awesome. It's really, listen to this, Nick. So there's this little, there is this podcast app called Anchor. Hey, 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 sucks when your whole family is in active addiction. Oh, Jeremy, I know. I've had friends that are like that too. But you know what? If your whole family is in active addiction, then you don't have to worry about telling them. I guess it's going to be hard when you tell them that you're getting help, though, because what happens then is they want to pull you back into that old behavior. They don't want you to leave them and get sober because um, then you're going to get better and they're going to get worse, and then they won't have a using buddy anymore, you know? But the podcast thingy is it's called Anchor. And I actually have a podcast, you guys. I never link it because I barely ever upload podcasts over there. But it's literally just me talking like I'm talking to y'all now. You know, I got my hands in everything. I try a little bit of everything over here. Of all trades, master of none. uh, You know, that documentary idea, Carrie, was a really, really good idea. It really does help if somebody can sit down with you and watch. Do you know what me and my mom and dad used to do before I ever even moved out? Well, no. I was probably about 22, 23, so I was just moved out. Maybe I came back every now and then to visit. I don't know. We used to watch Intervention together. And my dad would be like, I don't understand. It's just parents, I don't know what it is, especially men. My dad was just like, I just don't understand why somebody would do that. But then again, like, here's the deal. I think I saw somebody that made a video, and the video was like, why heroin? And it's like, have you ever fucking done heroin before? It feels good. That's why. And so that's why a lot of people use drugs and alcohol, because the feeling feels good. A podcast, it's like a radio show. You can listen like on SoundCloud, on Stitcher, on Apple Radio, it's just, instead of seeing the person on video, it's them talking on a podcast. I do too. I love, love, love hearing people's stories. It gets me excited. You know, I go through when I get off of here with you guys at night, and I go through looking for people's stories. I've been thinking of starting a YouTube channel too. I have a Facebook page about my health struggles and my 9 surgeries, and I now recovered and went on to play roller derby with an... Wow, Christy, that is so cool. You play roller derby? That's badass. You must be a tough ass chick. You guys, like, having a channel is just a way to like share your story with so many people. And then I cannot tell y'all enough how blessed I am I get to talk to so many amazing people every single day. Like this morning I talked to Jeremy. Then today when I get off here with you guys, I'm going to call Sandra, and then I'm going to call Michelle, and we all get to talk, and I get to be friends with so many cool, tough, real people. Like, I love that. I love talking to people and getting to know people. It's the best thing in the whole wide world. Nick, you're welcome, man. You're welcome over here on my channel anytime, okay? You don't get discouraged, all right? You're doing great. You're doing great. I mean, shit. I wish I could get healthy. I mean, I'm struggling over here, man. You got it going on. You got self-control. So look at it like that. You could be over here eating everything in the house like me. You got it going on, man. See, whenever you think that your situation's really bad, other people are looking at you and they're like, wow, he's doing so good. I hope I can get like that. You know? I know it sounds crazy, but I've never been on Facebook, podcast, Instagram, pretty much nothing but email and YouTube. My 2 dogs make fun of me for it. Well, Jeremy, you need to get with times. I have so many podcast recommendations for you guys. Listen up. SoundCloud, all these podcast places, there's a channel called The Addictionary Podcast. And I know I've talked about it many times with you guys, but it's Megan and Bobby, and they're a father duo, and they are so freaking awesome, you guys. You guys have got to check them out. The Addictionary. Then I also watched this guy. His channel is called That Sober Guy, TSG. He also has a YouTube channel. My new high is helping others, and I guess lately the high hasn't been as fulfilling and as good as before. Well, you know what? Have you been slacking off? Sometimes it can get draining and overwhelming because if you're not taking time to help yourself, you know, that's what happens to a lot of us addicts is we throw ourselves into service. Okay, I have experience with this, so let me share. When I first got sober, me and my sponsor, we would go to all these different places sharing our stories, right? We would go to the treatment center I graduated from. We would go to the state hospital. We would go to the detox center, everywhere. And we were doing so much service work, right? We were making coffee at the meetings. We were chairing the meetings. I was the secretary. She was the GSO. I mean, we were killing it. But we were always doing service work for someone else, which is a very big part of recovery, you guys. The main thing that helps us stay sober is giving back what's so freely given to us, right? Cleaning house, which is keeping an inventory daily, right? Inventory as in, when I go to bed at night, I go, is there anything I did today that I need to make right? Did I hurt or harm anyone? Was I, rude to the lady at the grocery store? Did I steal something from somebody? All those things. So we keep an inventory of the things that we do, so that way, if we do anything to hurt anybody, we go make it right, so that way it doesn't turn into a resentment. All right, so helping others, keeping an inventory, which is, they call it like cleaning house, right? Keeping our side of the street clean. Prayer and meditation, and staying in conscious contact with your higher power. Because this is a spiritual journey also, you guys. Like, we're all trying to get to know our higher power more. Because what it says to us in the 12 steps is that we found a power greater than ourselves to relieve us from our alcoholism and our addiction. And so part of staying sober is keeping in contact with that higher power, whatever it may be. Nick, I know that feeling. When I started my Facebook page, I was helping so many people who have gone through I can't say that word, but you know what it is. But then I wasn't dealing with my own insecurities about mine. But I owe everything to momentum and consistency. I've been consistent, but I feel I've lost a little momentum. Okay, so yeah. So if you just feel like you're falling back a little bit, get back on the grind and start focusing a little bit more on you. And that's what, we always have to remember, that we have to take care of ourselves. With tasks, I have to tackle one at a time. If I try to take on everything else, nothing gets done. Oh, I'm the worst about procrastinating too. How about y'all? I will have so many things that I need to do, and then I'll say, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. And then it's like I have 16 things to do tomorrow, The main thing is, you guys, that we just got to focus on not doing. If we can just not pick up drugs and alcohol today, we are winning, okay? We are winning. If we just don't pick up today, we don't have to worry about tomorrow. We don't have to worry about 30 days from now. We don't have to worry about 6 years from now. All we got to do is stay sober for today. If we stay sober, then everything else works itself out. How about that? If you stay sober, life will work itself out. You might have ups here and there. Shit might hit the fan every now and then. But I promise you, if you stay sober and do the right thing, stop committing crimes, stop selling dope, stop hurting and harming other people, I promise you, if you do those things, your life will be just fine. For real. Now, don't get me wrong, your dryer might break down, your car, you might get into a car accident, but you know what? You ain't got to get high over it. That's the thing about it, is I don't have to get high over this shit anymore. I used to get high over this kind of stuff. And today we can make better choices because we're not pumping ourselves full of dope. And that's just a miracle in itself, you guys. I'm so grateful that each and every one of you are finding your ways. You're finding your way to recovery, because it's just an amazing thing. It's like a colostomy bag, Nicole, but mine is, I don't have a colon or rectum. I have a piece of intestine on that. Oh, no, girl, you're okay. It's not too much information. You want me to tell you a little story about my sister? Oh, she has, this is so scary because she has to have a surgery, right? And the doctor said if they mess up, she would have to have a colostomy bag. Because, listen, when my sister was born, when she was a little girl, her intestines and her rectum, like going out of her butt, don't line up. So when she tries to go poo-poo, it like gets stuck right here instead of going straight out, right? Like all of us do. And so it's like, I don't know what's been going on, but something has gotten infected. And so she has an abscess in her little booty hole canal. And they're going to have to do a surgery to take that out. And if they, oh, it's so scary. She called me the other day and she was so upset about it. And I said, girl, it's going to be okay. We're going to pray over you. That was me today, but I didn't smoke weed. I know weed isn't much of an addiction compared to alcohol, but I'm finding it tough. Still on that wagon, though, thankfully. Thanks for the inspiration. Hey, Emma, what's up, girlfriend? You know what? If weed is something that you're struggling with, girl, it's still, it's understandable. Like, I try not to minimize anybody's addiction because I know that, you know how we were talking about yesterday, you guys, about being on Suboxone, and some people get on it for different reasons. Maybe they're had an addiction to heroin, or maybe they had an addiction to Vicodin, or maybe they had an addiction to hydros. Everybody's situation is different, you know? And so if that somebody's addiction to hydrocodones might have been the end all be all for them, but to me, somebody who was shooting Roxy's, that was just the beginning for me. But to that person, it was serious, you know? So everybody's, yeah, hold on. Everybody's stuff, I try to respect everyone's because I know it can be just as hard for you. You know what I mean? It's just how you perceive that. And so your experience with weed, if it's driving you nuts and you're trying to stay off of it, I respect that. And we're all here to support you, girl. Did you really, Christy? It was just so, and ever since she was a little girl, it hasn't lined right. And so it's always gotten like, I don't know how to explain it. Thanks so much, hun. Thanks, Emma. Thank you, babe. I feel you, Emma. I smoked all day, every day for 10 years. I gave Snoop Dogg or Wiz a run for their money. You know what, you guys? I was never really a big weed smoker. Like, I smoked, but I wouldn't buy that shit. I wouldn't pay money for that. I was, you know, I was into really getting fucked up. But now that I've been sober for a couple of years, you guys, and weed is getting legalized, I'm like, you know what I mean? Do I need to try that? But for me, it's just like, I think what would happen is I would start smoking, and then I would get to where I couldn't stop. And then I would be smoking all the time, right? And then, you know what happens to me when I smoke? All I want to do is eat. All I want to do is eat and sleep. So that wouldn't be good. I would be fucking 600 pounds. But I just got to find, it's everything in moderation, you guys. And for drug addicts, it's really hard to have moderation. You know what I mean? That's why we struggle with our disease, because we don't know how to, it's like, well, it's not even not knowing. It's because our brains, like I was saying before, that pleasure sensor is like, and it lights up. And so our reward and pleasure is off. Just like for me, instead of eating food because I need it to function, I eat food as a reward, just like drugs. I use that stuff to reward my body instead of use it to fuel my body. Do you see? It's all crazy. Brain disorder, y'all. Brain disorder. Okay, guys. My little chipmunk is over here. Stop. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay. Thank you. All right, you guys. I'll see y'all later. I'm going to get Nate settled down. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6.